Good evening. It's 8 o'clock. Well, tonight, high drama in New Delhi as barricades came up around Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi's residence and the Congress headquarters. The Young India office at the National Herald building was sealed in New Delhi as well, but then it was lifted. What's the latest on that? Also, the big headlines tonight. US Speaker Nancy Pelosi leaves Taiwan, but tension ratchets up as she leaves. She says it's the insecurities of China's Xi rattling his saber because of his own political position. Meanwhile, Taiwan says 27 Chinese planes entered its air defense zone today. China's military exercises around Taiwan to begin tomorrow. The Congress says its leaders and parties under siege as barricades come up at the Congress headquarters and at Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi's residences. The Enforcement Directorate seals the Young India office, but after a 2-hour standoff, the barricades are lifted. The BJP says the ED is following the legal process. A show of unity in Karnataka and Rahul Gandhi's presence. DK, the Congress state president, and Siddaramaiah hug on his 75th birthday. Rahul Gandhi meets key seers, reaches out to the Lingayats. Home Minister Amit Shah also arrives in the state tonight. Mamata Banerjee's new ministers are sworn in today. Partha's deputy minister is out of the cabinet as well. Meanwhile, the court extends the custody of Partha Chatterjee and Arpita's close aide in Enforcement Directorate custody by 2 days, not 4 as the ED wanted. The controversial data protection bill is withdrawn by the government. The minister says we will bring a comprehensive new framework. A MP's panel suggests 81 amendments to the bill. It's a serious issue. The top court says on election freebies, the money for these freebies are coming from taxpayers' pockets. The court tells the centre, let an independent body discuss this, come back to us with a proposal. Heavy rain in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. A red alert in many districts of these 3 states. Our lead story tonight, well, the 82-year-old United States Speaker Nancy Pelosi left Taiwan today after a packed 24-hour visit, which included meeting the president and a joint press conference. However, she left a seething China behind, with a red-faced China threatening military drills, and Taiwan saying today that 27 planes from the People's Liberation Army of China had entered their air defense zone.
US Speaker Nancy Pelosi met the top Taiwanese leadership as China began military drills, which the 82-year-old brushed off as saber-rattling by Xi, China's all-powerful president.
Is about our shared values of democracy and freedom and how Taiwan has been an example to the world in that regard. And whether it's certain insecurities on the part of the president of China as to his own political situation that he's rattling a saber.
But China has sworn military action in retaliation for Pelosi's visit. She's second in line to succession to the US presidency and the first top-ranking US official to visit Taiwan. Beijing insists the island is part of mainland China.
这是一场彻头彻尾的闹剧。美方打着所谓民主的幌子，在干着侵犯中国主权的勾当。而台湾的蔡英文之流，抱着美国的粗腿不放，背弃民族大义。
Here's China's course, first of all, that you can see, and then you can see the position of Taiwan over there. The place where Taiwan is situated at the edge of South China Sea shipping lane, positioned about 100 miles from China. Clearly controlling Taiwan, therefore, would facilitate China's operations in the entire South China Seas are some of the 6 areas which we'll now point out in a map for you, typically now surrounding Taiwan on some of the very critical areas around Taiwan where military drills will be conducted by China in response to Pelosi's visit. China's military exercises encircling Taiwan begin from tomorrow for 4 days. Taiwan's already claimed incursions into its sea and air space. Pelosi left in less than 24 hours. The US government played down the episode, but the flashpoint between the world's two biggest economies is likely to be felt way beyond this corner of the world. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Well, moving to the politics in New Delhi, which is leaving the opposition and the Congress specifically seething. This evening, the Enforcement Directorate sealed the office of the Young India Limited in the National Herald office, where the passport office is also in that building, but that's open. However, also then heavy security and police barricades came up around the AICC headquarters and Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi's residences. The Congress senior leaders rushed to the AICC headquarters, saying the party and the headquarters was now under siege because of a protest they were planning against the Prime Minister's price rise and GST tax outside his residence day after. The BJP says the ED is just following the law, and mysteriously the barricades have now been lifted.
We are seeing an open-ended investigation for events 10 years ago with a siege mentality in the heart of the capital. The only sole object of this exercise is humiliation, insult and intimidation at one level. I mean, you are treating this institution, this party, these leaders as terrorists.
Every time a question has been asked that why did the Congress party give money on loan to AJL? The Congress party is not a bank. Under the Representation of People's Act, it is ultimately a political party that is getting donations for political work, not to give a loan. Thereafter, the entire thing is transferred to Young Indians owned by the Nehru Gandhi family. So all the Congress party leadership had to do, that is Mrs. Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, is give a straight answer to the questions. Instead, for 10 years, all we have heard is that this is political vendetta, this is an agenda against us, we will do a satyagraha.
So let's go across now live to Sunil Prabhu, who is at the Congress headquarters. Sunil, what's the current situation there?
Well, Sonia, as you pointed out, senior leaders, really shifted towards the AICC office, and it was at Mr. Mukul Wasnik's office that all these leaders were congregated and meeting. Is it an overreaction from the Congress party, or you all really feel that now they are going to do something to Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi and the AICC office?
See, the entire nation has been seeing in the last few months the type of behavior of this government at the center. One can say that Modi government has achieved the Himalayan heights in political vendetta, vindictiveness and absolute irresponsibility. Today we are just in name a democracy, but dictatorship is there in India today. And unprovoked, the type of action which the Delhi police had taken here outside Mrs. Gandhi's residence, the party headquarters, the All India Congress Committee, outside Rahul Gandhi's residence, there was no provocation of any kind.
But some would say that they should be ready for any kind of probe if required by the ED.
See, you are aware, and entire nation has also seen that Rahul Gandhi ji was called for several days by the ED. More than 54 hours they had put questions. He answered all those questions. Similarly, Mrs. Gandhi was also questioned for several days. She also did whatever the Enforcement Directorate wanted her to do. But now what the Delhi police has done today, why did they do that? There was no provocation, except that a few days back we have informed all our state units, all our district units, that there should be a protest against price rise, against unemployment, against GST on essential commodities. And here in Delhi also we announced that all the members of parliament will march up to Rashtrapati Bhavan to submit a memorandum on all these basic issues faced by the nation. We also said that we will march to the Prime Minister's residence. Is it to prevent the Congress party from doing that? Is it to silence the Congress party from doing all this? whatever the government wants to do to silence us, they should understand that we will face all challenges, but nobody can silence the Congress party.
So here you have it, Sonia, the Congress party very keen on continuing with that agitational politics, and we'll have to wait and see when the ED acts and what was the reason for the steps that they took this evening at the Akbar Road, where the AICC and Sonia Gandhi's house is located.
Right, there's been no response yet from the Delhi police. We're waiting for that, Sunil, but thanks for that update. Meanwhile, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is in Karnataka today, where the big success, the Congress is saying, is that he brought together the two warring leaders. One, of course, the State Congress Party President D.K. Shivkumar and ex-Chief Minister Siddaramaiah at Siddaramaiah's 75th birthday celebrations. He also made it clear that the Congress will not announce a chief ministerial candidate. Today, he refused to comment this evening on what happened at the Congress office headquarters, but attacked the BJP government. Meanwhile, he also visited a key mutt, which is, of course, the attempt by the Congress to reach out to the Lingayat vote bank. Home Minister Amit Shah will also be in Bangalore tomorrow.
BJP wants to do is BJP wants that nothing in India should be made by small and medium businesses. They want that everything should be made by 2 or 3 of their favorite big business people. That is why they changed these rules. Okay. Their entire idea is to take the money out of these people's pocket, right, and put it into rich businessmen's pocket. Thank you very much.
I have come here for the celebration of Siddaramaiah ji's birthday.
A public show of bonhomie and unity. That is what the Congress leadership wants from feuding leaders in Karnataka. This at a grand show of strength by former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah on his 75th birthday, who had told NDTV on Tuesday that he aspires to be the Chief Minister in 2023. This even as Rahul Gandhi visited a Lingayat mutt in Karnataka, where a seer declared the Congress leader and had been initiated into the sect, and that would pave him the way to become the Prime Minister one day. The political significance of blessings from prominent Lingayat seers, not lost on anyone. The Congress is thought to have lost the Lingayat vote to the BJP when former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi dismissed a popular Lingayat Chief Minister Virendra Patil. Lingayat is Karnataka's single largest community, comprising nearly 17% of the population, and can determine the poll outcome in over 90 seats in North Karnataka out of the state's 224 assembly seats. The BJP too is on a damage control exercise after public protests and resignations by party workers following the murder of BJP Yuva Morcha's Praveen Nettaru. So the Union Minister Amit Shah is in Bengaluru, where he will attend a CII event and meet the Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai over lunch. Breaking away the Lingayat dominant communities' allegiance to the BJP, that's going to be the primary focus of the Congress here in Karnataka. Rahul Gandhi is going to take out on a month-long Padayatra, basically to spread the achievements of Congress here in the state, and also will be meeting some of the prominent Lingayat seers. This is in a way to woo the Lingayat votes to the Congress for the upcoming elections. In Davangere, with camera person Kumar, Shrija for NDTV.
In Parliament today, the IT and Telecom Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has announced that a data protection bill brought in 2.5 years ago will be withdrawn and replaced by a comprehensive framework.
प्रश्न है कि विधेयक को वापस लेने की अनुमति प्रदान की जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य इसके विरोध में वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हो गया।
And permission, I withdraw the Data Protection Bill 2021 as reported by Joint Committee. That the Data Protection Bill 2021 as reported by the Joint Committee may be withdrawn.
The Supreme Court today said the question of election freebies is a serious issue. The Supreme Court said it's an important issue for the economy, adding that money for freebies is coming from taxpayers' pockets. The Chief Justice also said that freebies are needed for the welfare of the downtrodden, but the economy aspect is also important. We need an expert body of the ruling party, opposition members and other entities to discuss the issue. The Chief Justice has now asked the centre to submit a proposal on an independent body to look into this within a week. However, this of course has become a political battle between the centre and the Delhi government as well, and Arvind Kejriwal, Delhi Chief Minister, has tweeted against the centre's arguments in court, saying that providing free facilities to the public won't cause an economic crisis. There will be a financial crisis by giving free benefit of lakhs of crores of rupees to friends. The centre has maintained that these freebies are disastrous for state economies. Extremely heavy rain in 3 states in the south, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, with a red alert now for several districts across these 3 states. So we can see there the devastation and loss of life that is being caused by this heavy rain currently in South India.
Aerial search underway for 2 fishermen along Tuticorin coast. They went missing after their boat was struck by heavy wind. Schools and colleges remain shut in Nilgiris as the Met forecast heavy to very heavy rainfall. While Chinnakalar of Coimbatore received up to 90 millimeters rain, nearly 6 times above normal, the hill town Valpare, where schools remain shut, received 60 millimeters rain. That's 10 times the normal of 5.9 millimeters. The highest 110 millimeter rain at Tirutani in Tiruvallur district, that's 35 times above the normal 3.4 millimeters. With heavy inflow from Kerala, storage in the Vaigai Dam reached its capacity and waters are being released. In the rest of the peninsula, very heavy rainfall is forecast. Over 100 millimeters of rainfall is expected in Mangaluru and Karwar, with 50 to 60 millimeters likely over Bengaluru and Mysuru. In Kerala too, there are almost 5,000 people in relief camps. 12 people have died since Sunday. In Kochi, Kozhikode, Kannur and Wayanad, over 100 millimeters of rain is expected in the coming 24 hours. With Divya Vadva in Chennai, Sam Daniel, Find the TV.